Horror Story: The Haunting of Dormitory Room 666. In the twisted tapestry of my tormented existence, I have borne witness to the dark forces that lurk beyond the veil of our mundane reality. From the moment I arrived at the hallowed halls of Pinehurst High, a sense of impending doom whispered through the shadows. The dormitory, nestled on the outskirts of campus, stood as a decaying monument to forgotten nightmares. Its weathered facade held secrets that would drive the feeble-minded to madness. As I ventured into the heart of that accursed dwelling, a chill caressed my spine, beckoning me into its sinister embrace. Legends spoke of the room at the corner, the forsaken chamber where the fragile threads of sanity unraveled. Its cursed feng shui permeated the air, a toxic miasma that infected all who dared to venture near. In the midst of this macabre ensemble, a group of 6 girls dwelled within those wretched walls. Each harbored her own demons, but it was the harbinger of chaos, the instigator of torment, who would test the limits of my fear. She, with her twisted grin and defiant demeanor, cast a pall over the dormitory, ensnaring the weak-willed in her web of depravity. I, with my innate sensitivity to the ethereal realm, could sense the malignant presence that clung to her like a malevolent specter. She prowled the halls, her companions in tow, engaging in illicit trysts with dark forces beyond our comprehension. The stench of their vices lingered, an unholy symphony of smoke and sin. My unease grew, an unsettling storm brewing within my core. I was compelled to warn my comrades, to steer them away from this vortex of wickedness. But as I confronted her, I felt a sinister power surge within me, an otherworldly force guiding my words. I prophesied her downfall, her impending doom, without understanding the source of my premonitions. It was as if the very darkness that surrounded her whispered its secrets into my ear. And so it began. The calamities that befell her, one after another, as if the universe itself sought retribution for her sins. The very fabric of reality seemed to conspire against her, as her feeble attempts to escape her fate were met with relentless torment. The teachers became her tormentors, their questions piercing her ignorance like daggers. Misfortune clung to her like a shadow, entangling her in a sinister dance of despair. But as her world crumbled, so too did mine. The weight of her malevolence pressed upon me, threatening to suffocate my fragile psyche. In her eyes, I glimpsed a darkness deeper than any abyss, a darkness that hungered for my soul. I could feel her gaze, a frigid touch upon my being, as she sought answers, seeking to understand the source of her undoing. One fateful night, the darkness descended upon our wretched abode with an intensity that defied reason. I stood frozen, my body consumed by an icy grip, as a tempest of evil swirled around us. And then, in a moment of sublime terror, the small Guinean statue nestled within my pendant shattered into splinters of despair, the very essence of protection obliterated in an instant, leaving me vulnerable to the horrors that lurked within. But in that unholy rupture, something changed. The torment that had plagued me dissipated, replaced by an exhilarating surge of power. The room crackled with an unhinged energy, as if the walls themselves trembled in awe. And she, the catalyst of this cataclysm, stared at me in disbelief, her own malevolence recoiling in the face of an ancient force beyond her comprehension. "It's okay now," I muttered, my voice carrying an otherworldly timbre. But little did I know, this victory came at a price. The tendrils of darkness, once confined to her twisted soul, now sought a new host. They slithered towards me, whispering promises of power and control, as I struggled to maintain my sanity. In the aftermath, whispers spread among the remaining girls, tales of my macabre encounter with the supernatural. They recoiled in fear, their trust shattered, as I became an outcast in my own haven of terror. The girl, whose malevolence I had shattered, watched me with a mix of fear and awe, her twisted mind attempting to fathom the forces that danced within my shattered psyche. Haunted by the shattered remnants of my own humanity, I sought solace in the presence of my grandmother, a keeper of ancient wisdom. In her trembling hands, she bestowed upon me a sacred Buddha statue, a token of protection against the encroaching darkness. But even as I clung to its divine grace, I knew that my battle against the horrors of room 666 had only just begun. The whispers of the damned echoed in my dreams, a chilling reminder that evil never truly dies. And so, with each passing day, I trudged forward, burdened by the weight of my own existence. The dormitory, now a sepulchre of lost souls, continues to cast its ominous shadow over Pinehurst High. And I, forever marked by the touch of the supernatural, navigate the treacherous waters of a world that exists both within and beyond the realms of human comprehension. In the depths of that accursed dormitory, darkness stirs, patiently awaiting its next victim. Will you heed the warnings, or will you succumb to the alluring embrace of room 666? The choice is yours, dear reader, but remember, once you step into the realm of the damned, there is no turning back. Horror Story: The Grasp of Shadows. I've endured my fair share of bizarre encounters in my lifetime, but none compare to the chilling events that unfolded during my sophomore year of high school. It was a time when my fascination with Native American folklore consumed my thoughts, leading me down a twisted path of forbidden knowledge and unearthly curiosities. In the heart of our small American town, a construction site loomed like a macabre monument, a place where mountains were being torn asunder to erect towering structures. It was in the midst of this chaotic transformation that my friend, whom I'll refer to as Old Jake, was approached by two younger classmates, their eyes wide with the intoxicating allure of the forbidden. Whispers of ancient graves, harboring forgotten souls and skeletal remains, reached Old Jake's ears like a siren's call. He couldn't resist the temptation, nor could I, for our shared obsession with the occult beckoned us into the heart of darkness. With adrenaline coursing through our veins, we pedaled our bikes towards the site, like curious specters drawn to the macabre allure of death. The graveyard, once a solemn sanctuary, had been ravaged by the relentless machinery of progress. Rows of tombstones lay shattered and discarded, their secrets violated by the insatiable appetite of construction. Yet, amidst the desecration, a handful of graves remained untouched, silent sentinels guarding the forgotten past. We fixated our gazes upon one particular burial ground, an enclosure fortified by weathered stones. There, upon a scarred wall, enigmatic marks stained its ancient surface, resembling crimson blood. Unfazed by the ominous portents, the younger classmates plunged headlong into the abyss, unearthing a bone, a fragment of humanity's mortality. The two dared us to join in this blasphemous communion, but Old Jake and I, plagued by a gnawing intuition, recoiled from the unholy artifact. We departed swiftly, our souls tainted by the lingering aura of impending doom. That fateful night, as darkness enshrouded my room, I succumbed to slumber, unaware of the sinister forces gathering in the ethereal realms. A heavy weight pressed upon my chest, suffocating my breath and shackling me to the realm of nightmares. Eyes flickering open, I found myself face to face with a specter, a wraith-like figure, translucent yet suffused with malevolence. It was an elderly man, his features etched with anguish and ire, who interrogated me relentlessly, demanding to know why I had trespassed upon his realm. Terror gripped my soul as I pleaded for forgiveness, my voice quivering with desperation. Each uttered apology only seemed to stoke the flames of his wrath. Without warning, he lunged at me, his spectral hands reaching out to tear asunder the fabric of my existence. Agony coursed through every fiber of my being, threatening to rend me asunder. In a desperate act of survival, my head shifted involuntarily, disturbing the spectral assailant's hold. He dissipated like mist in the wind, leaving me gasping for air, my body drenched in a cold sweat. It was then that I noticed the shattered remnants of the dreamcatcher, my talisman of protection, shattered as if crushed beneath an otherworldly force. But that wasn't all. A metallic taste flooded my mouth, and as I explored further, I discovered my own tongue ravaged by my teeth, a self-inflicted wound reminiscent of possession's brutal grip. Fear clung to my soul like a relentless specter, rendering sleep a distant memory. I dared not succumb to the lull of unconsciousness, fearing the resurgence of the nightmarish ordeal. To endure the hours of darkness, I sought solace in the feeble glow of a smartphone, a fragile shield against the encroaching horrors that lurked in the shadows. The next day, when I met old Jake, his haggard countenance mirrored my own torment. He recounted his own nocturnal ordeal, a malicious presence lurking outside his fourth-floor window, violating the sanctity of his home. He, armed with a makeshift weapon of protection, a wooden sword carved from sacred peachwood, sought refuge in the bathroom, fortifying himself against an unseen menace. As dawn broke, his mother disclosed that someone had tapped upon their glass pane in the dead of night, an intrusion that she dismissed as a mere curiosity, oblivious to the true horror that had plagued her son. We shared our harrowing experiences, piecing together the puzzle of our nightmarish plight. A sinister realization dawned upon us, compelling us to return to the desecrated grave and make amends. Armed with incense sticks, we sought to appease the restless spirits, their anger a palpable presence in the air. As we paid our respects, a sense of relief washed over us, as if the ethereal veil of darkness had been momentarily lifted. We emerged from that ordeal relatively unscathed, but those two younger classmates, forever entwined in our haunting tale, vanished without a trace. In the aftermath, I pondered the horrors that might have transpired had I forsaken the protection of the dreamcatcher, or if old Jake's mother had succumbed to curiosity and unveiled the sinister secret that lurked outside their window. Some mysteries are better left unsolved, hidden in the depths of our darkest fears, a reminder of the unimaginable horrors that lie just beyond the veil of our perceptions.